I think it's raining, so we better work quick, get into mine before we get drenched. Let's have some level of determination. We found number 4 at it. I'm going to check it out right now. So we've just reached our location right now. This is one of 5 adits or horizontal tunnels that enter into the mountain perpendicular to the vein of rich iron ore. And we're going to check this one out, photograph it, document it, and we're ready to do this.
All right, now look at the evidence of the old ties on the floor here. This is evidence of the old railway that used to go in and out of this mine.
This is a mine spike. It's for a narrow gauge railway. This would have fastened the rail to the tie. So we've walked about 300 feet into the mountain, and it seems that they were trying to connect this to a stope, but they either didn't reach it, or the financial obligation of driving this tunnel just bankrupted them, or any number of factors, because this is a perfectly well-made tunnel, and it seems like they didn't pull an ounce of ore out of it. Okay, so we just got out of tunnel number 4, and we couldn't find any evidence of mining whatsoever. Just a barren tunnel with a very sophisticated haulage way, ties, mine spikes. It looked like they really put a lot of effort into driving this tunnel into the mountain. But for what purpose? It seems they didn't find any ore, so we're going to follow southwest. We're going to look for adit number 3, which we know intersects the northeast portion of the vein.
Nice.
There's tailings scattered everywhere, and I'm finally first beginning to see some evidence of some ore, some high-grade magnetite. Right here is the only evidence of narrow gauge track anywhere that we found. You can still see the rail tightly fastened by mine spike right over here. This entire area has collapsed due to the fact that it was an open stope, and just over the years, natural earth erosion filled up the stope, and after enough time, completely filled this tunnel from up above. It's no longer passable. They obviously found something important here. This tunnel, it didn't go that far. It went in about 30 feet or so, hit just solid fill, but we found evidence of trackage, so we know this was an important haulage way for the northeastern portion of the mine. This is a total success. The ore here is magnificent. It's a nice shiny blue metallic color. It's really a shame that they had to abandon the effort here and they couldn't make money, because the ore here is just incredible. Okay, so we finally reached tunnel number 1. This is the primary haulage way for the mine. Most of the ore was transported out of here. It doesn't look like much right now, but when it was in operation, the mine actually had a timbered entrance and tracks going right in. So we're at the tailings pile of tunnel number 1. This is the biggest tunnel by far. It's the primary haulage way. And there is a ton of really good ore, really high-grade magnetite ore. Magnetite is a bluish rock, as you see here. It's 3 parts iron, 4 parts oxygen. Bluish in color, has a slight luster. It's very hard, very hard. It requires significant blasting. And this is really what they were looking for. This is their gold. This is the gold to an iron miner. There's evidence of an ore car sitting right in front of me. They use wooden ore carts. You can see the rusted iron bolts that fasten the wood to the iron. You can see a coupler right over there where this ore cart joined another. That was precarious.
This right here, it's in the little bag here. Now it's in my way. It's something I can hold in the hand when I'm trying to grab it. Now it's around my back.
So we're about 160 or so feet below the surface of the ground. I'm looking straight up and I can see the leaves from the trees up this shaft here. I mean, for all you know, what's down beneath the water table here is larger than everything we've explored thus so far. You hear the ice cracking. Okay, so right behind me here is where we believe is the fault which displaced the ore body some distance to the south. Basically, all of this area that we've been walking through, entirely stoped out, rich magnetite ore, and then suddenly they reach this point here. This is basically a slip zone where an entire body of rock just completely slid against the plane, and in doing so, carried the ore back. So they actually had to mine the ore from a separate entrance, the number 3 added. But this is as far as you can go. There's no sign of the ore from this point behind me.
What made you look at the top? Don't
What is this? Whistling Willies? Is that what it is?
It's a grand entry.
Whistling Willie's Honey Brown Ale is what I got. Very good.
And why does that suit the mine?
Well, since it was such a tough trip, you know, normally after a mine hike I might want something, you know, it's a little grouty to it and thick. But since this was a tough trip, I figured I want something a little smooth and a little thinner, you know, to help soothe the muscles and finish the day off right.
All right, here we go. So tunnel number 1 was the most important. So it gets a dark, rich, because it has dark, rich ore inside. So it gets a dark, rich, toned beer. The next in line is number 2. Now it's kind of a very hokey looking mine. It doesn't go that far. It's very light in my book. Nothing was pulled out of it of importance. Number 3 added, that had a beautiful 9.8 on the added aesthetic scale in terms of beauty. I mean, it looks beautiful from the outside. So the next darkest beer goes there, which it's a
brown.
tie. So we'll put this one here. And number 4, wow. I mean, I'm impressed with number 4 because it had length, it had ties, it had rail, and there's only one beer left, so we just have to put it here. There we go.
There we go. There we have it.
Look at that.
So, all right, well, let's run back to the trucks.
All right, well, this was a successful mission, and I'm gonna get soaked if I stay out here any longer. I'm excited to go home, take a shower, see my little daughter, and look over the pictures in the video.